Hey everyone, I'm Goofyword, back with another episode of Totally Obscure, where we look at the coolest things you can do with the cards you didn't know you should be playing in Commander. This week we are going to meditate our way to a higher plane of being with the white enchantment Transcendence. Let's take a look. Transcendence is a 6 mana enchantment from the Torment set. It costs 3 white, white, white. It says you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life, but when you have 20 or more life, you lose the game, and for every 1 life that you lose, you're going to gain 2 life. Playing Transcendence fairly paints a huge target on your back. Your opponents see that you're going to gain 2 life for every 1 that you lost, they'll just attack you a few times and get you up over 20 and kill you instantly. What we're going to do is use 2 different strategies. One is more or less fair, and the other is more of a combo kill, to use Transcendence to our advantage. One thing that we can do is use effects that make it so players can't gain life to ensure that even when we lose life, we don't gain it, therefore we will never make it back up to 20. The other thing we can do is give Transcendence to our opponents. Typically we would want to do that when they are already above 20 life, which will kill them on the spot. Some of the cards that are very effective for the first strategy, which is more or less playing Transcendence fairly, are Everlasting Torment, Sulfuric Vortex, Witch Hunt, or Havoc Festival. All of these cards make sure that we cannot gain life. This is very important to making sure we can actually play Transcendence and survive with it. When we take damage, we will lose the life, but we will not have to gain 2 life for every 1 lost, meaning that our life total will go deep into the negatives, but we won't care because of Transcendence's effect. Some of the same cards that are preventing us from gaining life are also going to deal damage to our opponents throughout the game, making their life totals low enough for us to be able to handle. The second major way to use Transcendence is to use it as a combo piece and give it to our opponents, while they already have more than 20 life, so they'll lose instantly, or when they're in a position where they cannot avoid gaining life. Maybe they don't have one of the cards that we're using to prevent us from gaining life. There are a few different ways to give Transcendence to our opponents. There's Harmless Offering, which simply gives 1 permanent we control to 1 other player. We could also use Zedru, the Great-Hearted, to donate our Transcendence, how kind of us, to our opponent, and then they will, of course, die from it. The final way to gift our opponents with Transcendence is by far the most effective, and that's with Fractured Identity. This 5-mana spell says exile target non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token of that permanent. This means that if we target our own Transcendence, we will give a copy of Transcendence to each of our opponents at once, and if they have over 20 life, they will lose, meaning that we can turn Transcendence into a complete combo piece and win the game with it. One strategy you could use while trying to take advantage of Transcendence is to play it cool and pretend that you're a group hug deck. You could play cards like Truce that are going to allow your opponents to draw cards. You could play cards like Aria of Flame to give your opponents large chunks of life. Then, when you use Transcendence and Fractured Identity, or use Zedru to donate it to an opponent, you're going to one-shot them out of nowhere because you are kind of flying under the radar throughout the game. Transcendence is a very underused card that, while you do have to put in some work to make it effective, can be powerful in the right style of deck. Enjoy donating it to your friends and watching them lose the game. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Totally Obscure, and if you want to see more, make sure you comment the totally obscure card that you would like to see me cover next. Until then, I'm Goofyword, have a great day.